Origin Unexplained.
It's the beginning of October. What not a better time than to talk about ghostly encounters. Welcome to Origin Unexplained. I am Sue, your host, and as I said, we are going to be talking about ghostly encounters, and I have some guests on. They're going to tell you some of their stories.
I had a contractor for a client who remodeled a two-story home. It was beautiful upstairs. So I begged them to rent it to me and my ex-wife and three kids who were 9, 11, 13 at the time. So we rented it and we stayed there for 4 years. For 4 years, we lived with several spirits, to say the least. So she was outside the door. I'll make it quick. My ex-wife heard her at least three different times and couldn't wake me up at 3:15 in the morning. Just couldn't wake me up. And I refused to wake up, I guess. So she's telling me how this woman sounded and how heartbreaking it was and all that. Well, at 3:15 in the morning one night, I heard her through the bedroom door, loud as if the door was open, pretty much. I got out of bed and went over to the door, and I listened to her, and it actually reached me. It was a heart-wrenching, like somebody, she lost her whole family or something. It was just heart-wrenching. Somebody going to Hades could sound like that.
Wow.
So I jerked the door open and jumped out. And when I did that, it completely stopped. Of course, my ex-wife has to say, well, see, now do you believe me? But that's just one hunting out of like a couple 104 years.
Yeah.
No bull.
Okay, one time when Haley was probably about 5, and I just took her over to her dad's for the weekend, and my mom gave her this little wind-up doll, porcelain doll that played music, but she hadn't touched it in weeks, and it laid on the coffee room table. And I came home, sat on the couch, got my computer out, and I was sitting there and on the computer. Next thing I know, that little doll starts turning its head, playing the music like it's supposed to, but it just started playing music out of nowhere. And I looked over it, like, what the heck? Then it just stopped. Then the next thing I know, I hear a marble going around in my bathtub. So I walked back here, pulled the curtains back. There's nothing there. So I put the curtains back, went back and sat on the couch, and it did it again, did it twice. And still, I've never seen a marble, nothing.
My
It's cool.
God. I know that music boxes will often pick up and play, but not with the head rotating
Yeah.
or the whatever. But then the marble.
Yeah. People that came over, I've never seen them. I
Huh.
always see a lady in a pink shirt and white shorts, but I've never seen her. Haley's seen her, and there's a little girl too, but I've never seen them. Everybody else has but me.
Wow.
And someone said it was two sisters and their brother died in a fire somewhere by my house, and they were looking for their mother and dad. Their parents survived, but they didn't.
God. Well, that was creepy enough.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, no, the music box thing. Oh my God. Do you have any other ones? Any good stories? Or that was a good one in itself.
Um, Haley just moved out of the house, and she said that there was a little bit porcelain doll that my mama gave her that sat on like a little swing, but she had it on a shelf by itself, and it kept falling off. Nobody near it, nothing. It would keep falling off. She called me and said, Mama, this thing keeps falling and there's nothing around. The cat's not messing with it. It's falling off. I was like, put it in a box, put it in top of the closet, and don't touch it again. I was like, I don't know what it is.
Oh my goodness.
It was a small house that we were renting at the time when we opened the pizza place. And my daughter, hi Rod, my daughter had a doll I'd gotten her for Christmas. And it was one of those babies that go inside a walker
Yep.
and it moves and it goes, Mama, Mama, as it's moving along the floor. Well, it had no batteries in it. Okay. This thing starts moving on its own and says, Mama, Mama, going across the floor in a room upstairs. And we were like, no. We actually watched it move and it had no batteries in it.
Chucky.
That freaked me out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why.
I mean, I can understand having maybe somehow having a little bit of energy built up, and I don't even really believe in that, but I'll just say that, but not no.
Right. Yeah, it's freaky.
Yes.
Very freaky.
That is freaky.
It was when I was younger, and the house, it was that creepy one where the couple had passed on in the attic. And yeah, it was the house
Wow.
where my girlfriend saw me in the window waving or calling for help or something like that, and I weren't around. It was there. My neighbors across the road were over at the house, my friend, and it was my brother and my sister Lisa and I. We were there at the house. Our parents were gone, and we were in the dining room, and we heard something walking up the basement stairs. Like we heard steps on the basement stairs. And
Yeah.
we were freaking out because nobody could get in from downstairs because it was all boarded up and all that.
Mm.
So we were terrified and we all held hands to go to the door to put a chair under the handle so that it wouldn't open because we were
Yeah, yeah,
scared. And then
yeah.
we went running back in the dining room. And then we knew we had to make a phone call to our neighbor's dad to come over and help us because it got to the top of the stairs, whatever it was, and we see the doorknob going like this. And we were crying at that point. And so when we got the courage enough, we ran to the phone, which was next to the stairs. And it was on the wall and it had that extra long cord. So we took the phone in the dining room and we called our neighbor to come over. And he came over and he opened the door and the stairs were all full of sawdust and it had wet footprints going up the stairs. Now, there was nothing on those stairs whatsoever. I mean, everything is clean down there. Clean, everything. There was nothing on those steps before that. And so he even got
Wow.
nervous and he had us go over to his house and wait for our parents. We left the door
Yeah.
unlocked when we left. Then we kept looking out the window. We could see our parents pull in the yard. And we ran over and told them what happened. And when we went to go back inside the house, the door was locked. Something had locked the door.
Wow. Those people, do you know what they passed away from up in the attic?
Well, apparently, I think it was the older gentleman had gone up there. I don't know if it was to turn the antenna, because at that time we had the antenna
Yep.
that you'd have to turn to get the TV station to come in. So that was in the attic. So I don't know if he was up there doing that or what he was doing in the attic, but he had had a heart attack. His wife was worried about him, and she went up to the attic to check and saw him passed on. And she had a heart attack and passed on because of the, I guess, the fear or the traumatization of seeing him up there. I don't know. But she had passed on the same time.
Wow.
And people
This,
that have lived in that house before used to see um, people walking by, like my mother's bedroom window. Their bedroom was there. And they used to see people walking by the window, and it's up on the second floor. And my bedroom was where the attic door
right.
was. So I used to push a dresser up to that door because I was terrified every night. I'd look under my bed, I'd look in the closet. I was so scared of the house. And my
Yeah.
mother used to see shadows in that house.
Yeah.
And she'd be sitting there watching TV and she'd see a shadow go by. And then it would sit on the couch. And you know how when you sit on furniture, how it sinks in?
Yep.
That's what it did. It sunk in. And then when it got up, it popped. Like, you hear the pop from it.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And my stepfather, he was down in the basement at the time and working on something one day. Nobody was home. And he had heard somebody walk in the door, and the door is next to the basement door. And he heard them walk across the floor, into the dining room, and then up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And he was hollering, "Is anybody there? Is anybody there?" Nobody answered. And he had gone up and he checked around. He hollered upstairs, "Anybody here?" He even went upstairs and nobody was there.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that feeling. Tell us
Okay.
your ghost story.
Okay. So I have one from when I was a child. I was around 7. And when I was much younger, not even a year old yet, 2 of my cousins died tragically. And so moving forward, I was a 7-year-old kid, scared of the dark and everything. So whenever I would come to my second floor to use the bathroom, I would turn on the hall light. So I came up, turned on the hall light one evening. My mom's bedroom is literally like catty corner to my right, and I can look in and see the foot of her bed and everything. I see these 2 boys' heads pop up at the end of her bed, and they smiled at me, and I really didn't know much of my cousins because, like I said, when they died, I was not even a year old yet. But they looked like the people from the pictures I've seen. And I ran to the bathroom and screamed
Yes. Yes.
as a
Now,
child.
did they live in that house prior?
Long before I was born, my aunt and the 2 boys did live in the house for a little bit and then moved out. So
It's just.
this was like 3 years ago. Now, one of my dear friends was in a situation where she was in an abusive relationship. And I was startled awake, and when I startled up, I looked over to where my husband's dresser is, and there was like this mist cloud. I don't even know what to call it,
Ecto.
but you can make out like it was a feminine whatever,
Right.
and all I heard was help. The next day I was trying to get in touch with my dear friend, and she wasn't answering me at all. And then
Wow.
finally she got in touch with me with her son's phone, told me she had been beat. And then
Wow.
I said to her, I was like, "You've got to be shitting me," because no joke, I was up at 3 something in the morning, and this mist cloud, whatever you want to call it, of a woman said, "Help." And she's like, "What?" I was like, and You're now telling me you were in a DV situation that morning. It was the strangest thing.
Wow, I guess. So that's just a little bit of what we experienced in Alive last night with some of the stories, but we're going to be having an upcoming video where we have multiple guests talking about all different kinds of ghost stories. After all, it is the month of October. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a story you want told, or you actually want to get up on the podcast, email us at origin, and that's unexplained at unx, no E in there, PLAINED, at gmail.com.